Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time of day it is for you. Today, I wanted to talk about something that is extremely important and that I've dealt with for my entire life, basically. It can be hard to talk about because it's a very personal thing. But hopefully this will reach some people who will be able to relate to it and maybe help someone. And that topic is anxiety. As for me, I deal with a specific type of anxiety. You know, many people just have generalized anxiety, and I feel like that's probably the most common type. And I would say that I deal with that as well, but what I mostly have dealt with throughout my life has been social anxiety. And this has had a huge impact on my upbringing, and also, strangely enough, I feel like it has affected my career choice, actually, and I will explain all of that in a second here. So when I was growing up, I remember living with my mother in our condo that that I had been raised in, and she would try to get me to go out, go places, talk to people, make friends, just regular parts of life for young people. And she would even try to get me to leave our condo, and I would quite literally beg to stay inside. I would just refuse to leave, like barely at all. I like to stay inside. I like to play with my own toys, just inside, in my comfortable environment, and just use my imagination within the confines of my own home. I really had a very hard time getting out, and this had gone on for many years, and it started when I was very young. I remember being at one of my favorite places to go, the McDonald's play places, when I was younger, and I remember one time my mom tried to get me to talk to these little girls who were there who must have been my age. She was like, yeah, just go up and just talk to them, just start a conversation. And I just remember shaking and grabbing onto her leg and just saying, no, I can't do it. I just can't do it. And throughout elementary school as well, this was just a huge struggle. I would be in class, I would barely ever say anything, and for that reason, I was put into a social group in elementary school and in middle school, where you could talk to other students, I guess, I don't know. It was a part of my IEP that they had put me on. They also mentioned a lot of things that sort of made me uncomfortable, just recognizing about myself, like the fact that I had a very monotone voice, they would say. My teachers would say that about me, and I didn't like that because I didn't want to. I wanted to be expressive. I wanted to tell people how I felt and be seen as funny, be seen as likable, but it's like I would come up to someone and I would just not be able to say anything. I mean, I would start shaking, start hyperventilating. It was not good. I just was extremely afraid of how other people perceived me. And I would say growing up, that was mostly to do with people my age. I feel like when I would talk to older people, adults in my life, it was a lot easier, I feel like. And this is probably because we assume that people our age are probably more likely to judge us because we just want people our age to accept us. And many times that can be much stronger than the desire for older or younger people to accept us. We want our peers to accept us, the most of all. And I feel like that was the reason of why I was mostly afraid of people my own age. And I barely had any friends, really. I remember the very first friend I ever made was this boy in kindergarten, and I considered him my best friend. And I believe the second friend I ever made, the first couple of friends I made were someone from kindergarten, and then my other best friend, who I'm actually still best friends with now. We've been best friends almost our entire life. But the one I met in kindergarten was this boy, and we had a really good relationship. We had a really good friendship. We always talked to each other. We're always joking. I would go to his house, and it was great. And I think he started talking to me first, and that's how I got comfortable around him. And I really wouldn't talk to anyone else, though. That's the thing. Like, he was one person that I was comfortable around, and that was about it. And then the other person that I was comfortable around was my current best friend, who I met when I was really, really young. And that also was just because we got acclimated to each other and we related to each other in a lot of aspects. So I was comfortable around her. She lived in my condo building. That's basically how we met. And growing up, though, I got to age 9, and this boy that I was friends with, he came to my 9th birthday party. Then shortly after that, his mother contacted mine and basically said that he shouldn't be friends with girls now. And so then we didn't talk anymore. And I'm just gonna say this right now. Joke's on her. I'm not a girl, but that's a whole other story to talk about. But I mean, yeah. And so throughout middle school then, you know, I didn't really have friends. I sort of talked to this group of girls, and we were like friends, but it was complicated though. Many times I wanted to talk to them, but I would sort of just like sit there with them because it was hard for me to really talk to them. I was just still nervous around other people. I mean, yeah, I was still going through that. It was still a struggle for me. And then after a while, they just sort of ghosted me, I guess. They just sort of weren't friends with me anymore. And I graduated middle school, and I really didn't form a solid friend group and start becoming more comfortable talking to people until I was in high school as a sophomore. As a sophomore, I made like my own little group of friends, and I was comfortable around these people. I still wasn't entirely talking to everyone, but at least I could talk to them, and I didn't feel so alone anymore, because I went through most of my life feeling very alone, because everyone would be going out with their friends, everyone would talk about having friends in general, and I just remember thinking to myself, what about me? I don't have friends. I really don't. Or I barely have any. And it was very frustrating. It was very difficult. I went through a lot of issues with my mom because she always thought there was something wrong with me. And I kept trying to explain to her my fears and why this was happening, but I guess since she didn't exactly have the same experience as me, she thought I was just being dramatic and that I could change this. And I thought for a long time, maybe I'm just being dramatic, maybe I just need to do it. But in reality, I think it really comes down to like an anxiety disorder, because it was taking over my life. It was preventing me from accomplishing goals that I wanted to accomplish. And the funniest part about it is that transitioning into adulthood now, I got better and better every time I exposed myself to talking to someone new. I'm living on my own now in college, and I can do it fairly easily, and I'm much better at talking to people than I used to be. When I was young, I would go into a restaurant, I couldn't even order on my own. I'd make my mom do it for me. Nowadays, I'm ordering stuff, I'm taking Ubers, I'm going to the store, I'm going to college, I'm going out with people. I mean, it's crazy. I actually have been able to improve a lot. But you know what? It took a lot of effort. So if you're going through something like this, just know I understand, and other people should understand. It's not going to happen overnight. It may not even happen in the next year or couple of years. It's going to take a lot of effort. If you need to go on medication, that's an option. But if you think you can handle it without medication, then by all means, you can try that. It's going to take a lot of exposure therapy, a lot of therapy in general, but you will make it through this. You will be able to overcome anxiety. And when I say overcome, just to clarify, I don't mean that it will be gone completely, because I really don't think that's possible. It's probably going to be there your whole life, you know, because if it's a disorder, it's a disorder, but you can improve. You can be able to manage it. and become healthier. And I'm very grateful that I have good social connections in my life right now. And yeah, it just took a lot of exposure to that. And it was very painful getting out there at first. I was very afraid. A lot of crying happened. But yeah. The craziest part is how this affected my career choice. Now, I decided in about 8th grade that what I wanted to do with my life was to become a singer. And sometimes I get a little bit embarrassed because when I tell people that I don't know very well, or even that I do know well, that that's my career choice, but then they know, or they can sort of see or sense that I have social anxiety, it embarrasses me a little bit, because I'm like, oh, they're gonna think, how are you gonna do that? Like, you're afraid of people. How would you be up there on a stage? My response to that is, I don't know. I just do it. It's just overcoming it. It doesn't mean I'm not still gonna have social anxiety. It doesn't mean that I'm lying about my career choice, or that I'm making a stupid one. It just means that my career choice is sort of it's gonna be harder for someone like me, because usually when you think of a musician, you think of an extremely confident person who is just ready to put themselves out there, is not afraid of judgment, because you're gonna be on stage, you're gonna be performing, especially with voice. It's not like I play an instrument. Well, I do play an instrument, but you know what I mean. Not like, I don't want to do that as a career. I'm singing, and that is extremely vulnerable. And I think it's really beautiful, the vulnerability that comes with singing. I noticed when I was young that I was naturally good at it, and I always just thought of it as a hobby, though. I never thought, oh, I want to do this as a career, this is just a hobby. Really, when I was younger, I wanted to be an artist. That was like one of my first job choices. I was like, I want to be an artist. I want to draw or animate things. But then, when I was in 8th grade, I changed my mind because I just really felt this passion when I would sing songs. I was a huge K-pop fan, and I feel like that got me into music a lot. It really did. That got me into music, and listening to BTS, like my favorite band ever. I know, but seriously, they are good. Don't hate them just because they're popular. Like, actually listen to them, seriously. Listening to their music, it gave me hope. It gave me confidence in myself. It made me feel like I'm worth something, and that I should have the confidence to put myself out there. You know, they make a lot of really uplifting, beautiful music. I mean, a lot of other artists I listened to as well did, but I feel like they just hit me really hard with a lot of their songs. And I realized it doesn't matter how hard this is. I'm gonna do it, and I don't care who says otherwise. I don't care. I really don't. Because the fact that I went from hiding in the back corner of a classroom to standing on a stage and singing in front of college judges, that is improvement. And I did that. I did that literally when I was visiting colleges, because I didn't have just one college I knew I wanted to go to. I had 3. And so I had to travel a little while to get to them, because I had to do auditions to be in the voice program. And very proud of myself for doing that, honestly. Well, one of them I did online, but then 2 of them I did in person. But the 3rd one was only for a scholarship. So for one of the colleges, yeah, I was on stage and I sang. But I didn't get into that because, actually it was because of music theory. I wasn't experienced enough in music theory, and that's why I didn't get in. Like, they thought my singing audition was really great, but the music theory part was, yeah. So I didn't get into that college music program, but the one I did online, I didn't either, also because of the music theory. But the 3rd one was only for a scholarship, like I was already in the program, and that's the college I go to now. But my judges said that my voice was very beautiful, and that made me so happy, and I was thrilled, and they gave me the scholarship. And yeah, it's just so crazy to believe that I was doing this. Oh yeah, and that was last year. And I had started voice lessons privately at some corporation, and I was really nervous for that as well, actually. I was like, oh god, this is horrifying. I can't believe I'm starting this now, but I developed a really strong bond with my voice teacher. So nice. I love her. She's awesome. I don't see her anymore, because now I have my own private voice teacher at my college, you know, but she's awesome. She taught me so much. She also helped me with the whole music theory thing, which still not exactly sure how I feel about music theory. I'm in a class for that right now, and I'm the only person in there who looks like they have no idea what is going on. So, that's gonna be another challenge in my life, and you know what? That's fine with me. I'm not gonna quit. I spent so much of my life quitting things, but now it's like I'm finally here. I don't care how hard it gets. I'm not quitting. I'm not good at music theory, nor am I very good at piano. But I've shown improvement in these 2 subjects that I have to take to be a music major. And I am not quitting. I don't care what anyone says. I'm not minoring in it. I said I'm majoring in it, and I don't care what anyone says about that. I might want to minor in writing. I might want to. Or art. I'm not sure. We're gonna figure that out. But basically, at the end of the day, all in all, if you have social anxiety, I understand you. I know what you're going through. I know it's hard. It's a lot of suffering. Really, there's so much I could say about this subject. And if you're wondering about anything, you can ask me in the comments. I'll answer. But I believe in you. I know what it feels like to walk into a room and think everyone is criticizing everything you do. I know what that feels like. And not everyone can relate to that. And you know what? I'm glad not everyone can relate to that, because it's a horrific feeling. But remember that there are other people out there who also feel that way. Me included. So it's a process, and with time, if you push yourself little by little, don't do anything that is extremely out there that you know you're not going to be comfortable doing. Just push yourself slowly, in increments, and you will work up to the place you want to be in life eventually. And get therapy if you don't have it already, because it is very useful. It is. It really helps. And your therapist is someone who won't judge you, basically. Like they will see you through the lens of professionalism, through the lens of kindness, compassion. At least they're supposed to, If they're not, report them. But, most of them, there's a reason why they're doing that job, and it's to help you. So, oh yeah, another thing I recommend doing, journaling. That really does help. Like, write down what you're feeling. Also try to analyze why you're feeling it. Because, yeah, I know the reason why I have social anxiety is because I am afraid of judgment and afraid of humiliation, and certain experiences in my life have been negative reinforcements for me feeling those things. For example, when I embarrass myself in public, it reinforces my social anxiety a little bit, because now all of a sudden those thoughts are coming back. But you need to try to work on your self-esteem. Try to understand that we're only on this earth for a short amount of time, and we want to be able to enjoy our lives. I mean, really, what is the point of being alive except to experience what life is? And if we're going through life in pain, in fear all the time, then that's just not going to be the best life. And there are ways that we're going to need to learn how to cope with that, how to improve how we feel. I want you to be happy. People want you to be happy, and people love you. Even if you don't know someone in your life right now who you think loves you, I can guarantee you there is going to be someone that, if they met you, they would love you. And people from afar, such as me, who parasocially, I suppose, even though we don't really know you, we still love you, because we understand, the concept of there being other people out there that need compassion and love, and we're willing to give that to people who need that. I don't know. Sometimes the way I phrase sentences is, I don't know. Hopefully you understand what on earth I'm even saying right now. But yeah, with that being said, remember, you are loved. You are worthy. Alright, you are human. You're allowed to make mistakes, and you have the strength to improve yourself. I hope you all have a wonderful day. See you later. Alright, as a side note, in case you're interested, I have an update on the tattoo that I got from about a week ago. So, basically, it's healing pretty well. I would say the process is going smoothly. I've had to be washing it and moisturizing it like every single day, which gets annoying sometimes, but for the most part, it's been fine. And a couple days ago, it started the whole peeling phase, so my skin was just like, I was shedding like a snake. It was strange, but that's normal. And I was like, oh boy, can't wait for that to be over, because it didn't look the best. So I didn't really show many people in that stage of it. But then after the whole peeling stage was over, then it was itching profusely. And I was like, oh god, I hate this. But that only lasted a couple days. So we're a week in, and it seems like it's healing almost completely already. Well, I'm still not going to mess with it though, because I know it's probably still going to be healing for about a month or so. I'm just going to leave it be. I'm not going to be touching it. I'm not going to be, doing anything crazy with it. So, yeah. Alright. See you guys. Bye.